Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a story that honestly completely shatters a myth that so many of us hold dear. You know the one, the idea that raw, natural intelligence is the ultimate key to success. Well, through the case study we're unpacking today, we're going to see exactly why deliberate discipline beats raw, unfocused intelligence every single time. It's a foundational lesson about how we manage our mental energy, and I'm super excited to guide you through this and figure out exactly how it all works. Let's get into it.
So here's the big question we're tackling today. What actually happens when intelligence gets hijacked by distraction? Think about it for a second. Having a $1 million sports car is totally useless if the steering wheel falls off, right? To answer this, we're looking at the life of a young, super smart kid named Kabir. He is kind of the perfect test subject for this explainer, really, because he had this incredible natural capability, but as we're going to see, it was constantly being derailed.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, The Restless Mind.
So Kabir lived in a small village, and by all accounts, the kid was a genius, but he had a massive glitch in his operating system. His mind just jumped everywhere. Whenever he tried to sit down and read or do anything important, his focus would just completely fracture. And what was pulling him away? Things literally all of us struggle with. Video games, his phone, his friends. The second he tried to study, just the mere thought of checking his phone would break his concentration. His incredible intelligence was totally at the mercy of whatever impulse hit him first.
Now, Kabir's father saw exactly what was going on. He hit the nail on the head, warning him, "Son, your mind is like a wild horse. If you do not control it, it will take you in the wrong direction." And honestly, that is such a brilliant analogy. A wild horse has all this raw power and speed, just like Kabir's brain, but without a rider holding the reins, that power is useless. Actually, scratch that. It's worse than useless. It's downright dangerous to your goals. But as you might guess, Kabir didn't take this warning seriously at all.
Which brings us to Section 2, The Glass of Water.
Realizing his warnings were basically going in one ear and out the other, Kabir's dad takes him to meet Guruji. This guy is an old, super wise teacher famous for training successful young people. But Guruji doesn't sit Kabir down for a long, boring lecture. Instead, he hands him a small glass of water and gives him a challenge. Hold this glass, walk around my garden, and don't spill a single drop. On paper, it sounds like a weird test of physical balance, right? But Guruji was actually setting up a brilliant diagnostic test for Kabir's focus.
As soon as Kabir started walking, the environment completely came alive. The garden was packed with all these tiny sensory interruptions. You had birds chirping, the wind rustling the leaves, kids laughing somewhere nearby. For someone with a disciplined mind, that's just background noise. But for a restless brain like Kabir's, oh man, they were absolute magnets. Every single time he peeked over at a bird, or the leaves, or the laughing kids, his balance shifted, and water spilled out of the glass.
By the time he finally finished his lap and got back to Guruji, the results were staring him right in the face. Half the glass was totally empty. When Guruji asked him what happened, Kabir was refreshingly honest. He just said, "I got distracted." And you know, a half-empty glass of water is the ultimate physical proof of what happens when your intelligence is constantly leaking out toward every passing distraction.
Let's pause and move into Section 3, Decoding the Metaphor.
Guruji didn't yell at him for failing. Instead, he laid out this mind-blowing psychological framework. He tells Kabir, this glass is like your goal. The water, that's your focus. And all those distractions around you are just the noise of the world. The takeaway here is absolutely crucial for us. If you don't discipline your mind to stay locked onto your purpose, your focus will literally spill away on things that do not matter in the long run.
Okay, so how do we fix it? That brings us to Section 4, The Path to Discipline.
Hearing it explained like that, something finally clicked in Kabir's head. He saw the stakes. So he started building out these specific, rigid daily routines. First, he began waking up at the exact same time every day, just to establish a baseline of control. Second, he put hard limits on his phone use, cutting off the main source of his mental scatteredness. Third, he made a rule to give his full 100% attention to whatever he was doing. And finally, he added just a few minutes of meditation each morning to actively train his mind to be calm and steady.
Now, I want to be super clear here. This wasn't some magical overnight fix. It was incredibly hard at first. His mind still wandered all over the place. That wild horse still desperately wanted to run. But the discipline wasn't about having a totally perfect mind. It was about the active, repeated struggle of pulling his focus back to the task. Every time his mind drifted, he'd catch it and pull it back. Catch it, pull it back. That repetition right there, that is how you build mental muscle. And slowly, as days turned into weeks of this relentless pulling back, the hard work paid off. Kabir actually felt a fundamental shift inside himself. The results were undeniable. His memory got way better, and his grades shot up. By simply stopping the spill of his focus, his natural intelligence could finally pool together and be aimed directly at his goals.
And that leads perfectly into our final act, Section 5, the ultimate payoff.
So exactly 1 year after his garden lesson with Guruji, Kabir is put to the ultimate test. It's this massive national competition, super complex problems, intense time pressure, the whole shebang. On one side, you see what happens to the unfocused mind. Most of the students are completely panicking. The noise is overwhelming them. But look at the other side. There's Kabir, totally calm. He treated every single tricky question just like that glass of water, completely tuning out the panic in the room.
And the result of that laser beam focus? When the scores came out, Kabir took first place. He won. The whole place erupted, everyone's cheering, and Guruji is just smiling with so much pride. Kabir had transformed from this easily distracted village kid into someone known far and wide as the boy who mastered his own mind. He didn't win because he magically got smarter overnight. He won because he finally stopped wasting the smarts he already had.
Which brings us to the core thesis of this whole explainer. Kabir's journey proves one absolutely undeniable truth that you've got to take away today. Raw intelligence is nothing, literally nothing, without the discipline to direct it. A disciplined mind is just mathematically stronger than raw talent. It's way more reliable than luck, and it will outperform unfocused intelligence every single day of the week. Discipline is the ultimate force multiplier. It's the thing that makes all your other great traits actually matter.
So if you're feeling even a tiny spark of motivation from Kabir's story right now, you cannot let it fade. Your next chapter of success begins the exact second you make the conscious choice to grab those reins and take control of your own wandering mind. So I'm going to leave you with this final vital question to chew on as we wrap up. Will you start to discipline your mind today?